For number 10, we of course have the members of INSYNC. Timberlake was the lead singer of this popular 1990s and early 2000s band that consisted of J.C. Chase, Lance Bass, Joey Fatone, and Chris Kirkpatrick. Although this band went through a long period of hiatus, they actually announced this year that the band would no longer be saying bye 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 as they created a song for the Trolls movie franchise, which Justin is a part of. A few of Britney's claims against Justin consisted of him cheating, a run-in with him that caused a panic attack that ruined her 2007 VMAs performance, and of course the termination of their baby. Sources have told TMZ that the members of INSYNC have expressed nothing but love for Justin and are continuing to support him through all the backlash and criticism due to the woman in me. And for number 9, we have Kandi Burruss. This lead vocalist in the very successful 1990s R&B vocal group Escape has actually come to defend Justin after Britney accused him of using a black scent when meeting Genuine. But Kandi shared her thoughts with Page 6 as she discusses how she doesn't want anyone to put down Timberlake because of the times they were going through in that era. She pointed out the shifting of societal norms as actions that were once seen as unproblematic have now led them to cancellation or controversy. And she also said that during that era of pop and R&B, a lot of boy bands during that time did urban music, urban routines, and dancing the whole image. As she continues to say, that was the time and nobody was passing judgment. For number 8, we have Alysafar Griffin. This co-host on The View and former White House Director of Strategic Communications have come forward to defend Justin. Alyssa shared her perspective on the whole Justin and Britney situation on an episode of The View Behind the Table, which is a podcast that includes the hosts as they talk about topics they may have not addressed during the live show. One of these topics was about the memoir The Woman in Me, as they feared it was too controversial to talk about on the show, but they did discuss it on the podcast. Just for a reminder, Britney found out she was pregnant back in 2000 when her and Timberlake were both 19. Although she wanted to have the baby, Justin wasn't ready to become a father, which pressured her into terminating her pregnancy. In her music video titled Every Time, it gives a little clue surrounding her termination and her feelings towards the situation. Justin's song Cry Me a River was also about Britney after the two split, and many weren't happy with this after knowing a bit more context. However, Alyssa shared to give both Justin and Britney grace in the situation, and she explained why, as the whole situation happened when they were both singers being treated as objects physically, but also had to play along with the myth that they were both pure in the same nature. Alyssa believes both of them have been through it, especially with all the public speculations, but also does say that by Britney sharing her side of things through her memoir, it is able to provide her with the kind of closure and therapy needed during those hard times in her life. For number 7, we have Justin Timberlake himself. It seems like following the release of Britney's memoir, he has disabled his comments on Instagram and has stayed silent so far, with the media relying on sources for any details on him. He also just traveled to Mexico with his wife and 2 kids, and in photos obtained by Daily Mail, he was glued to his phone and appeared to be a little tense before putting his phone down. In 2021, he actually apologized to Britney and Janet Jackson by releasing a statement onto his Instagram account, and obviously in 2021, the public didn't know as much as they do now surrounding the relationship the two singers once had. But this was following the release of Framing Britney Spears, which was a documentary about Spears and all the scrutiny she faced in the media, including Timberlake's part in contributing. His apology is quite lengthy, as you can read it online, but some points he made was about the flawed music industry, as he believes it sets men, specifically white men, up for success. He also owned up to his ignorance at the time, which he didn't recognize, and further added he never wants to be benefited from the others being pulled down. But following the release of Britney's memoir, nothing has been said since. And for number 6, we have Jamie Lynn Spears. Although it appeared that the two sisters were close years ago, they've been both pretty vocal about their opinions on each other now, as their relationship doesn't appear to be fixable from an outside perspective. Jamie took down a resurfaced tweet where people were calling her out for supporting her sister's ex-boyfriend. The deleted tweet featured a photo of Jamie as a kid with Justin hugging her from behind, and the caption read, @J Timberlake, weird having your music as an adult. Ha, not only do I appreciate it, I get it. #J, #Cry Me a River, #Mirror. And although this post was shared in 2013, fans couldn't help but realize Jamie posted this after a decade of their split. Although she deleted the tweet shortly after posting it, there are screenshots everywhere, and she even tweeted again after deleting the first one by writing, "I hope you all know that my tweets are only to support my sister at Britney Spears. Anything left over was to @JTimberlake, #sisterlove, #forever." Especially since this is a hot topic right now, many have shared their thoughts on this resurfaced tweet. One user wrote, "Who would tweet this about essentially a diss track about your sister?" And another user wrote, "This is so evil." And for number 5, we have Timberland. This record producer, who has worked with Timberlake many times over the years, has made a few comments about Britney recently, which caused a ton of controversy. In a October 29th interview, he said Justin should have put a muzzle on Spears because of all the allegations she made about him following the release of her memoir. However, you can guess the public did not receive this well, which caused him to take it to TikTok and during a live stream on the platform apologize, as he shared a clip of his apology onto his Instagram. In this clip, he discusses how there's no explanation and further questioned his own statement and admitted he should have never said it. He said, "To all Britney fans, you're right and I'm wrong. I can look outside myself and say that wasn't a joke and that wasn't a nice thing to say. I apologize to the Britney fans and her." And in the caption wrote, "Never too late to apologize." And for number 4, we have Lance Bass. I know, we already talked about the members of INSYNC on this list, but Lance had a little more to say than his fellow bandmates. He actually provided an update on Justin recently, as he said all his bandmates are good before adding people will survive. He also encouraged Britney to take a note from herself and practice forgiveness after everything she said about Timberlake. Bass continues to say how everyone has their own opinion and feels like the world is full of hate right now, and added how everyone deserves to tell their story, and she did, as he hopes fans can find some forgiveness. For number 3, we have Perez Hilton. When he appeared on the Australian talk show The Project, Perez not only discussed the situation, but even offered Timberlake on how to handle the PR scandal. And his advice was to say nothing at all. His reasoning was because Justin already apologized in 2021 in the Instagram post we've discussed earlier. He also added that the people who don't like Timberlake are going to continue not to like him, and those fans that do understand that this was over 20 years ago, as he's no longer that person anymore. And even said it wasn't appropriate to judge old interviews by today's standards. And for number 2, we have fans, of course. Who said some fans aren't celebrities? Although there's obviously more people that are siding against Timberlake, there's always gonna be a few people taking sides and continue to support him after all the new revelations. Many fan accounts on platforms such as X, formerly known as Twitter, have continued to show Justin's support through posts, but majority of their comments are turned off. One user commented under a YouTube video about Britney and Justin and wrote, "Justin, unhinging yourself from Britney was the best thing you ever did. Imagine how your life would have been dealing with her mental health issues. Look at how much trouble she causes right now 20 years later. Good job, bro." With another user writing, "It's safe to say JT dodged a bullet." No matter what controversy celebrities get into, there's always fans somewhere that continues to defend them and support them no matter what, because everyone has their own opinions. And for number 1, we have Jessica Biel. If you don't know, she's married to Timberlake as they share 2 sons together, and she's also an actress that has been in many movies and shows, including the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Although she has stayed silent, a source told ET that the couple is currently focusing on their relationship and family as always, and even further added that it's been upsetting to have past instances brought up to the public eye, but they are making sure they are there for each other as they move forward. But according to another source, Jessica actually may not have known about the bombshell Britney dropped before the memoir, as Justin doesn't really talk about Britney to his friends, and the topic isn't something that comes up often. As of now, the two are vacationing in Mexico with their kids, so I guess only time will tell if anything else changes.
Number 10, Britney Spears' pregnancy. As we know, Britney Spears recently released a bombshell memoir coming through with some major allegations against Justin Timberlake. In what is now one of the most talked about parts of the book, Britney spills what is the biggest secret of all. She recalls her days on the Mickey Mouse Club, where she she met Christina Aguilera, Ryan Gosling, and yes, Justin Timberlake, who she later formed a romantic relationship with. She talked about their first kiss as a Janet Jackson song was playing in the background, and the difficult decision that she had to make in 2000 after learning that she was pregnant. She said, "It was a surprise, but for me it wasn't a tragedy. I love Justin so much. I always expected us to have a family together one day. This would just be much earlier than I'd anticipated." But she said that Justin definitely wasn't happy about the pregnancy. He said they weren't ready to have a baby in their lives and that they were way too young. We now understand why sources said that Justin was concerned about her memoir. Britney revealed that if the decision had been left up to her alone, she never would have gone through with it, but she only did it because Justin was so sure that he didn't want to be a father. Looking back at that experience, she said, "To this day, it's one of the most agonizing things she has ever experienced in her life." Number 9. Cheating on Jessica Biel. A few years ago, Justin Timberlake and Alicia Wainwright made headlines when they were spotted holding hands during a night out in New Orleans. The two actors were shooting the movie Palmer, which is a drama about an ex-college football star who returns home after being in prison. The co-stars were photographed together getting cozy at a bar in Louisiana, sitting at a table holding hands and talking to one another. The photos showed Justin, who didn't appear to be wearing his wedding ring, holding hands with the actress underneath a table while the two of them were drinking. At one point, Alicia could be seen resting her hand on his knee, and while he was standing up, he put his arms around her waist. The photos caused a huge scandal when they came out because he's been married to Jessica Biel since 2012. Their relationship was really being tested, and Justin had to make a public statement the following month, apologizing for his strong lapse in judgment and claiming that in the photos, nothing happened between him and his co-star. The scandal led to multiple speculations about the nature of Justin's relationship with Jessica, but judging from the photos, it was pretty hard to deny that the two of them hadn't been having some kind of affair, though in Justin's case, it wouldn't be completely out of character. Number 8. The Janet Jackson incident. The infamous wardrobe malfunction that shook the entertainment world happened on stage during the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show, and that happened to none other than Janet Jackson. No one could forget when Janet and Justin performed Rock Your Body. As Justin reached the final note, he pulled off a piece of Janet's costume, which was essentially her bra cup, and she flashed an estimated 143 million viewers. According to Janet's publicist, the moment was only meant to reveal her red bra underneath, but a wardrobe malfunction resulted in the entire thing coming off. Viewers were shocked, Janet's career spiraled, and immediate scandal ensued. Since then, the incident has inspired numerous performances, songs, and TV episodes. In fact, last year, FX and Hulu released a documentary called Malfunction, The Dressing Down of Janet Jackson, which aimed to explore the racial and cultural currents that collided on the Super Bowl stage. Interestingly enough, the stylist who was behind Janet's Super Bowl look, Wayne Scott Lucas, told Page Six that Justin was behind it all because apparently he wanted to upstage Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, who, as we know, kissed at the 2003 MTV Video Music Awards a few months earlier. Now, looking back on that moment, fans feel contempt for the fact that Justin had no problem humiliating one woman to try to get back at another one. Even now, there was very little repercussions for his actions. Number 7. 17 years too late. So it wasn't until 2021, 17 years after the event, that Justin finally went on the record to acknowledge how his past actions hurt Janet Jackson, which, as we know, ended up having catastrophic consequences for her career. In an Instagram post, he wrote, "I've seen the messages, tags, comments, and concerns, and I want to respond. I am deeply sorry for the times in my life where my actions contributed to the problem, where I spoke out of turn or did not speak up for what was right." He went on to say that he understands he fell short in these moments and in many others, and benefited from a system that condones misogyny and racism. Quote, "I specifically want to apologize to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson both individually, because I care for and respect these women and I know I failed." Finally, Justin said that he felt compelled to respond in part because everyone involved deserves better. He then called it a larger conversation that he wholeheartedly wants to be a part of and grow from. But his apology post didn't come out of nowhere. No, it actually came after the release of the documentary Framing Britney Spears, which sparked conversations about his role in Britney's downfall, like when he claimed that she cheated on him. But most people believe that his apology was too little too late. Number 6. Accusations of cultural appropriation. While accepting a humanitarian award at the 2016 BET Awards, social justice activist and star of Grey's Anatomy Jesse Williams gave a stirring speech about racism and cultural appropriation in entertainment. He spoke about how the intervention of whiteness uses people of color, demeaning their creations and then stealing them, gentrifying their genius and then trying them on like costumes. While millions of people shared and applauded his speech on Twitter, Justin Timberlake also joined in. He tweeted the hashtag inspired and tagged Jesse Williams. And as you could imagine, this didn't sit well with a lot of people. Many claimed that he had been appropriating black culture for years with his music and his public persona, which is true since his music draws heavily from R&B, hip-hop, soul, and funk. And the inspiration behind some of his fashion choices is pretty hard to miss. He was suddenly put on blast by the whole internet, which was hilarious. Journalist Ernest Owens tweeted, "So does this mean you're going to stop appropriating our music and culture and apologize to Janet too?" So in this situation, he really should have known how people feel about cultural appropriation, since the term was becoming more widespread around 2016. Number 5. Tone-deaf response. Unfortunately, Justin Timberlake responded in a rather tone-deaf, condescending and dismissive way. He called Owens a sweet soul and said, "The more you realize that we are the same, the more we can have a conversation. Bye." Owens then wrote a piece for the Daily Beast where she said that his response made it clear that he had no time to engage in a fair conversation about racism in the music industry. In the end, Justin did delete his tweet and fired off a few clarifications, saying that he was responding to one specific tweet that wasn't meant to be a general response, and he also said that we are all one human race. This sparked discussions online about white privilege and how white celebrities can pick and choose elements of other cultures that are beneficial to them while experiencing none of the consequences of being from that culture, like the fact that he completely dodged any repercussions for the Super Bowl incident with Janet Jackson, while she was demonized for it for years. Number 4. Grabbing Kylie Minogue. Justin Timberlake found himself in hot water again as a video of him performing with Kylie Minogue at the 2003 Brit Awards in London recently resurfaced. And with everything that's on the internet, it's no surprise that fans dug up this video once again. In the video, Justin is seen grabbing Kylie's behind while they are performing. According to reports, he had apparently asked her for permission before the performance, but she refused. Later on, he even bragged about representing America to the fullest by, quote, copping a feel. So that is exactly the kind of person that Justin is. He has a history of harming women, and this is all a part of it. You might think this wasn't a really big deal, but the fact that Kylie refused and he still went ahead and did it mid-performance is a huge indicator of his entitlement. And this is hardly the first time he's been embroiled in a controversy involving a female pop star. In recent years, the once seemingly untouchable president of pop has been going through a major reckoning. He's been the subject of many think pieces about double standards that women face in the industry. So it makes sense that people are now looking back on his other controversial moments and talking about his red flags. Number 3. Crimea River music video. We all know that Justin wrote the 2002 hit song Crimea River about his relationship with Britney. The lyrics paint a picture of a relationship that gets ruined because the girl cheats, and to get even, the guy makes sure that she finds out that he's moved on with his life. The girl then gets upset and cries a river because she realized that she screwed up and lost him forever. The track was written and recorded after a heated phone conversation between Justin and Britney, where she allegedly broke up with him. Justin said that it only took him 2 hours to write the song. In the video, he uses a camera to record him sleeping with another girl. When his girlfriend comes back in, he sets up the camera so she will find the tape. The actress in the video looks almost identical to Britney Spears, and of course that was intentional. The former couple dated for 2.5 years before they broke up in 2002. He publicly claimed that she cheated on him with her choreographer Wade Robson. She eventually hit back at his allegations in 2003 and revealed that Justin was the only guy that she'd ever been with. Now, with the release of the 2021 documentary Framing Britney Spears, the song has been criticized for its misogynistic undertones. Number 2. Embarrassing Britney. As we know, Justin and Britney were considered the it couple as soon as they got together. She was just 19 years old and under immense pressure to maintain a public image that was both sexy and innocent. And this was very difficult when every single TV and radio interviewer was constantly asking if she and Justin were sexually active. At one point, Britney addressed the speculation and said, "The virginity issue issue, it's a personal decision, and it reflects how I feel right now about myself. There are so many emotions involved that I would like to be able to wait until I know I'm with the right person and I'm married. But for his part, Justin obviously didn't feel like he had as much at stake, and he revealed that they had in fact been intimate. During a conversation with Hot 97, Justin was asked if they've ever done the deed, to which he says, "I did it, I'm dirty, I'm in so much trouble, man, I'm going to get calls from my mother." Britney addressed his confession years later, saying, "It was 2 years into my relationship with Justin, and I thought he was the one, but I was wrong. I didn't think he was gonna go on Barbara Walters and sell me out." Years later, the Framing Britney documentary was released, and it revealed how he used the breakup to boost his career. As a result, he immediately found himself at the receiving end of a ton of backlash over his past treatment of her. And coming in at number 1, hypocrisy. Aside from all his other issues, and there is a lot, Justin Timberlake has also been called out for being a hypocrite, like when he wore a Time's Up pin to the 2018 Golden Globes, despite the fact that he worked with Woody Allen in the past. While he claims to be a feminist now, it is difficult to forget that Barbara Walters interview that basically ruined Britney Spears' career. The insinuation that she cheated on him was something that Justin kept playing along with in order to further his own career. During the interview, Barbara asked him whether or not there was an incident where Britney did something very bad to hurt him, and he responded vaguely by saying, "We're not perfect, I don't judge anybody," but he was acting this way because he was trying to preserve his golden boy image. Meanwhile, his music was a different story. He continually brought up these cheating allegations in his songs, like when he took to the piano to perform an unreleased track called Horrible Woman, and the lyrics were, "So you've had your chance to be my lover, and there's really something more undercover." And later on in the interview, when Barbara Walters prodded him about whether the former couple lived up to Britney's desire to wait until marriage, he just laughed, and with a smile he said, "Sure." So he knew exactly what he was doing the whole time.